he really pursued a multiracialism, which I think, until today, I think is a very good policy, and we should continue with that. And meritocracy, education for all, boys and girls, and to me, this education especially is a social level. We start from a very humble family. We were poor too. In 1960s, everybody is in a way quite poor. And how we have moved on from a low-income group to now, I am proud to say that I can be considered as a middle income. I got my university education, I got a good job, and I can provide for my children to become professional.
I think it actually enriched the SG50 discussion we had last year. I think what was interesting was because we had questions about the past, then we thought about, there was this contestation of different ideas and different perspectives, right? People were saying, is it fair, should we have a more balanced narrative of the Singapore story? Is it just the pity, or do we need to consider the not so pleasant parts of it, right? The tensions, for instance, do we need to talk about them? And then about the future, so where do we go from here? So his passing, I think, actually gave us, the impact that it left us was that he kind of compelled us to start thinking about the future.
The incorruptibility, and not holding on to power, preparing, living his, make sure that his legacy live. Yeah, so all these I find it is very adorable. I really feel that he's really a great leader in a very small state, but he made us feel big. He made us feel big.
Meritocracy is a double-edged sword. Okay, while it is good to bring the good to better, there will be a great divide. And other than the meritocracy part of it is that we also need to be people-centric. So we may be very developed, we may be very advanced, but are we gracious towards fellow Singaporeans? So are we compassionate?
I think one thing that has always defined Singaporeans is confidence. But I think sometimes this confidence has kind of morphed into a form of complacency as well. So in many instances, we think that we are on a very stable footing, we are very good in many different aspects, but we don't quite realize that the rest of the world are catching up quite quickly. And I think what needs to happen is that we need to realize that we are not always ahead of everyone. Coincidentally, I think these are the lessons that Mr. Lee had in the beginning, when he was taking best practices from all around the world. And if we're going to lose that hunger, then I think and if we rest on our laurels, that's going to be a problem for the future.
The other one that I felt very enduring is his integrity. Even when he's at survival, he doesn't trade off his integrity for that. So as Singapore become more globalized, this is something, the values that I would like to pass on to my children.
He has placed Singapore in a globally as a Singapore brand, because when we travel and then we meet people, when we say, oh, are you from this country? I said, no, we are from Singapore. I can see the difference. As we move along, the more successful will become even more successful, and the children become even more successful. So today is where I think we have to look after the not so successful, in order to share the fruits of the labor.
I think the present is very much about maximizing opportunities. I think there are a lot of opportunities, not just in Singapore, but in the region, around the world, that a lot of us are not taking. I think for the future, the answer would be to embrace ambiguity. I think a lot of us are very afraid of the uncertain, but to be able to embrace ambiguity, uncertainty, and then taking these different opportunities is quite important to build on the legacy.